We're live. You can't see him, but Kyle's here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we can hear you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are live here on the Take That Sportscast. Um, Second time I've done it once live because YouTube did the stupid 24-hour rule. But once live, that was last Tuesday. It was a great episode. And now we're doing it again live with a guest, with Kyle. Back with Kyle. Two of the three. Let's just try and rope Devin back into this thing, and then it'll be perfect. But anyway, we are discussing a lot on this show, and I think the first thing that I really want to get into is uh, is the NFL preseason. So, Kyle, what are your thoughts on the NFL preseason? Week two, week Week two of the preseason, week two of three. Remember, they cut the preseason short by 1 week. So this is akin to that third preseason game, the dress rehearsal game. The starters are playing about a half. We're getting some good looks at these rookies. Trevor Lawrence is playing right now in New Orleans as Jacksonville battles New Orleans. New Orleans is a fascinating quarterback battle there. But I think what everyone's eyes on, Kyle, are the rookie quarterbacks. And right and I have some numbers. I have some numbers. I always do. I got some numbers that I just want to go through. So, um, let's start with Mac Jones and the Patriots playing back on what was it Thursday night uh, against the Eagles. Mac Jones, solid performance, 13-19, a buck 46. Did not finish with a touchdown. Did not finish with a pick. Um, I think Mac Jones very much the Brady comparisons are obviously going to be there. On the sorry, my dog or my sister's dog just walked into my door and opened the door all by himself. So he's staying over at my place for the week. So um, just heard my door opening and I was like, "What the heck?" And it's my dog. So there we go. Uh, the pet. Right. Well, good coaching. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Um. So yeah, 13-19, buck 46, no touchdowns, no picks. Zach Wilson down in, well, I guess it's technically East Rutherford, New York Jets. Finishes 9 of 11 for a buck 28, two scores, no picks. Again, good performance from your boy uh, Zach Wilson out of BYU. The Jets um, were who the Jets even play. I forgot who the Jets even played. That they played. Yeah. Well, I have a new boss at work who's a Jets fan, so he's paying attention, and so uh, kind of making me pay attention too. I think he again. It's tough to gauge after just two preseason games, but obviously his numbers are good, and obviously, um, that's kind of it's vanilla offenses, but I like what I'm seeing out of all these rookie quarterbacks. Really, um, it's fascinating to me to see. Um, it was against the Packers, by the way, Jets versus the Packers. Um, that it's fascinating to me to see just how NFL ready these quarterbacks are because, and I mentioned it on last week's show, the uh, timing that it used to take for a quarterback from the time he was drafted, even a very highly touted quarterback, to when he was actually starting, used to be, 2 or 3 years. Now it's almost 2 or 3 weeks, and we're talking about these guys starting. They're coming out of college, better and better, more NFL ready, at least at the top. These top 4 or 5 quarterbacks, and ready to start. And where honestly, I wouldn't be surprised um, at all if most, if not all, of these quarterbacks will have significant starting time this year. Again, it's something I mentioned on last week's show. It's very, very fascinating to see that, and very fascinating to see. Um, you know, I'm not saying pan out, but I think all of them will see starting time this year. I think right. I mean, if you look at the last like 10 years of drafting quarterbacks, only a few of first round quarterbacks have really hit. To the point, where it's much rarer to see a quarterback hit than a quarterback not, or a quarterback not hit than hit. But this feels to me, at least in terms of the hype, like the 2004 draft class, where you had three very high class QBs come out with Philip Rivers, Eli Manning, and Big Ben. You know, two of the three, Eli and Big Ben, I think are surefire Hall of Famers. Philip Rivers, I would argue, is a Hall of Famer. He's more of a borderline guy. That's a whole nother discussion. But all three were all three were solid starting Pro Bowl level quarterbacks at the very least. This year, yeah, and it's NFL quarterbacks now. Even then, even back in 2004, they weren't starting right away. Rivers was behind Drew Brees for a couple years. You don't really see that anymore, where a starting quarterback is just going to be behind a starter for very long anymore. You expect them to start right away. Well, let's get into the quarterback that I'm most excited about, and that's Justin Fields. He finished 9 of 19, 80 yards, no TDs, no picks. So out of all three, I think he had the best preseason opener. I think he fell back to earth a bit for what it's worth. Again, it's preseason. But I like um I like Justin Fields a lot. Um, I think and I also said that, and also I said this: the Bears aren't a bad destination for him. They really aren't. You look at the division. The Packers are going to be probably good this year with Rodgers, but Rodgers is 90% leaving after this season, if not 100% leaving after this season. And the Vikings and Lions, to be honest, Kirk Cousins, I don't think is the answer for the Vikings, and the Lions are going to be a dumpster fire again. So uh, we might do NFL picks at another show, but maybe a little sneak preview. I think the Chicago Bears are a sleeper pick to win the NFC North. Yeah, I think they're going to be competing for the wild card. Right. It's but to me, they do, they do. Really, and what was always holding them back was quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky was not the answer. Um, Justin Herbert, that's right, with the Chargers. Right. Yeah, and you know, obviously the tough part with Justin Herbert is that division. I mean, he's going to be sharing the division with Patrick Mahomes for at least a decade. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. You never know. You know what? You never know. Dynasties always last shorter than we think they will. They always do. With the exception of the Patriots. The Patriots are the exception to the rule, and it's generally in sports. Dynasties last a lot shorter than people think. You think this team's going to be great, and then it turns out not so much. You know, that they're going to be great for years to come, and then it's 3 or 4 years later, and you're like, what happened? You know, the exception is the Patriots. That was an exceptional run where they were dominant for 2 decades. And even then, their Super Bowls came at the kind of beginning of the 2000s to mid 2000s, and then in the kind of late 2010s. Um, that's, but they were still a dominant playoff team for many of those years and a winning team. But that's the exception to the rule, especially in football. Uh, hold on, we haven't discussed Trey Lance, 8 of 14, one Bucko two TDs, one pick. Trey Lance was drafted into the best situation, in my opinion. Trey Lance was drafted into the best situation. Great coach, great GM, um, good weapons all around. I think Jimmy G is going to start the first couple weeks, but I would not be surprised if Jimmy G gets hurt, if Jimmy G struggles, then we'll hear those calls for Trey Lance to start. And he's in a good situation in San Fran. He's in the best situation in San Fran. So yeah, that's pretty much a guarantee. Now we can talk baseball. Now we can talk baseball, and I have an axe to grind again with the Padres. My fantasy baseball is one thing. I am mad about the Padres. I am livid about the Padres. Yeah, both our teams are underperforming. Did you lose to the Rockies? Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. But what's so frustrating about the Padres? I don't think it's necessarily just the losing and who we're losing to. How the heck do you get swept by the Colorado Rockies? I mean, my goodness, that was a putrid series. I went on here last Tuesday and I was thinking things couldn't get hit rock bottom. Well, I'm a Padres fan. I should be expecting disappointment, and we hit rock bottom even further. And then the Phillies take 2 out of 3 from us. And if the playoffs started today, you know what the Padres would be? They would be on their couches watching like the rest of us. It is unacceptable that this team with this level of talent would miss the playoffs. Unacceptable. Well, there's a lot. Other than Tatis, who when he's been healthy has been the MVP of baseball, or at least the MVP of the National League. I think Shohei Ohtani is the MVP of baseball. Obviously, he'll win in the American League. Other than Tatis and Machado, everybody's been frustrating to me. But pitching wise, Blake Snell has been a disappointment. For all that money we're giving the man, he's been a disappointment. I'm sorry. I want Paddock to be healthy. Like, I want Paddock back. That's how bad things have gotten. What is Ryan Weathers doing starting Major League Baseball games? The guy stinks. The guy stinks. He's terrible. But we fired our pitching coach today, Larry Rothschild, so maybe that will help. I think we need to fire the manager, to be honest. Jace Tingler's terrible. You know what? You know what, Padres? Here's a little something I've seen on the Padres Twitter sphere is bringing back Bruce Bochy for a year. You know, it's a shame we let him go the first time, and then he goes and wins 3 World Series in 5 years with the Giants. You know, he was the manager the last time this team was great through a full regular season. Tingler's not. Yeah, yeah. He had a great he had a great performance. He's put together some strong performances, some really strong performances. Again, with with both our franchises, Mets and Padres. See, like I feel like with the I now have the feeling of what it's like to be a fan of a team like the Mets. Because the Mets always on paper coming into the season look like a good team at the very least. And then they always manage to pull your heart out. The Padres were bad for years. Like there was no expectation. Finally, we have expectations coming into this season. Like we're gonna have a parade down uh, in the gas lamp. We're gonna be great, and we start off great. But like I said, playoffs start today. I know it's August 23rd, so we have a little over a month left. Playoffs start today. The Padres are on the outside looking in. I now have the empathy for what it feels like to be a Mets fan because this team stinks. What happened to the swag chain Padres of earlier this year? They have lost their passion. They have lost their um it's just everything goes this team went from the most fun to watch to why bother watching? And they need to turn it around. Wow. That's shocking because like whenever I'm at your place, which yeah, but yeah, I hate that rule. I detest that rule. Mets are below 500. They're 2-8 in their last 10. So they're much like the Padres are above 500, but it doesn't. I don't understand it either. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's well, and it's so sad because Jacob Degrom was having that historic start to the season, and yeah, and like you know, um, with Degrom, you know, once first injury, okay, fine. Once he got that second injury, and certainly that third injury, once he got that second injury, I was like, I think I even texted both you and Devin in the group chat, and I was like, "There's gonna be trouble here. There's gonna be trouble here." Like, yeah, right. If if yeah, if the Mets were to be like officially, well, maybe not officially, but if they don't turn it around here, and I know they won last night. Um, if they don't turn around here, they have a tough schedule coming. I mean, they have to play the Giants again. If they don't turn it around in the next week or week and a half, and they're really out of it, do you think they should just shut Degrom down? I mean, if they haven't already. I mean, there's no point in bringing them back if you're out of it. Because let's see, right now you're 7 games out of the wild card. You're obviously behind Cincinnati, who has control of the second wild card, San Diego, St. Louis, and Philly. And in your division, you guys are eh, well, in your division, you guys are 7 games back of the Braves. Wow, the Braves are 9-1 over their last 10 and won 9 in a row. How about that? I mean, the Braves, I thought their season was over when Acuna got hurt, but if anything, they've gotten better. Say what you You'll get MVP votes. Yeah, yeah. My dog keeps opening the door. Look, he was just chilling over here, and then he can open. He's smart. He can open the door with his nose. He's a smart dog. Anyway, yeah, I agree. Hey, you know what? I do something new for the show. It was a recommendation on behalf of my dad who watches the show. Hey, Dad. Game of the week. It can be any sport. It could be baseball, football, basketball, soccer. What is one game that you, Kyle Davis, are looking forward? You're going to set aside time and watch on your television this week or upcoming weekend. Yeah, be it any sport. Hit me. Hit me with it. Yeah. All right. I got one. You might not know this. College football is back this weekend. They call it week 0 because not everyone is playing. I don't think any top 25 teams are playing. I love college football, by the way. Go Gators. That's my team, University of Florida. Um, I'm actually going. He's a Gators fan. Oh, and now Ian and I have something that we can bond over. Go Gators, man. Fair enough. Yeah. Yep. That's Florida. That's Florida State. We don't like Florida State. No, Florida. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Chiefs did. A lot of teams did. Game I'm looking forward to is this Saturday. It will be UCLA, the Bruins. Chip Kelly is back. What can he do with this team? Can he make UCLA great again, make the Pac-12 great again? Uh, Back to full stadiums across college football, which will be exciting. Taking on Hawaii. I don't know. There's not much in college football this week, but it's still college football, so I'm excited. I'm actually going to a game on the 11th. I'm going to go see Air Force play Navy down in Annapolis, so that's exciting. Um, and so yeah, college football is back this week. That's my game of the week. There's a couple other games. I think like Rutgers is playing, so people in Jersey will be excited for 2 minutes of Rutgers football. They're playing Temple, and Rutgers might turn it around. But that's my game to watch this Saturday. I think I just saw 2:30 Eastern. Um, UCLA versus Hawaii. College football is back. I couldn't be more excited, especially now that my baseball team's disappointing me. That's my game to watch this week. All right. Love it. We are back. 2 of the 3. are back on the Take That Sportscast. I want to thank anyone who came in and watched on our live stream or who might watch a little later. Comment, subscribe, share, do all that. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next time. Keep an eye on the Twitter. Get your noties on because that's where I'm announcing the shows. I'm kind of taking charge here a little bit. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get the show back on the road, so to speak, because there's a lot to talk about. Yeah, heck yeah, man. All right, it was. I would hear it constantly. Hopefully, I think it did. I think it did. All right. Any final thoughts, Kyle, before we depart? All right. Thank you guys for watching so much. I'll see you guys next time. We'll see you next time. Peace. All right.